Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have something new. This is the Jacques Vieville Tarot. Okay, so this is the deck. This is the Jacques Vieville deck that I've been working on. It's quite an old deck. I don't even know how old it is. I think it's 1650-ish. I don't think there's an exact historical date, but I'm not a tarot historian. But let's get into what the deck looks like. This is a temporary cover that I made. Just helps organize things. So let's get to the deck. Now, this deck I had made to try to keep the original deck as pure as possible, but making the lines more clear. If you look at the facsimile of this deck, it's a real mess. There's paint everywhere, the lines are all over, and I really appreciated this deck, but I just never really could clearly see what the heck was going on. So I decided I would try and clean it up a bit. And I actually didn't really want to do the whole deck, but thanks to Midnight Tarot on Instagram, who really convinced me to do it. Otherwise, I would not have completed it. So anyway, let me just show you what the cards look like. Now, this is only a temporary test print. Normally what I do is when the deck is being fully drawn out, I take some test prints like this and just go through and mark up what needs to be changed, just make up some notes. But it printed out pretty good. So I decided what I'll do is I'll print it out on cardstock and just make a quick mock-up. So I put a back on it, the traditional back that came with it, just to see how it goes. And this is only, as I said, it's only a test print. This is actually the first test print that I did. So a lot of changes. Anyway, let's get to it. So that's how this deck is gonna be. Papes. The Empress. This deck I decided to use very thin lines, as thin as possible, just to get some of the, some more clarity. Some of the other decks that I did, I had started with very thick lines. Yeah, let me try to find an example. For example, like this, the Jean Noble. I used very thick lines in comparison, but I actually prefer the thin lines. So I'm gonna have to probably redo the Jean Noble deck, start again. This one still needs to be quite edited. It's the Pope, Love is, Justice. Now this deck, the number ordering is quite unique. It doesn't follow the traditional Marseille pattern, which obviously doesn't follow the Rider-Waite-Smith pattern at all. It's quite different. You can see I've kept the original colors where the yellow and the, what is it, pink or whatever, how they had combined, mixed together. So I try to keep the original paint mixes, how the colors had mixed during the stenciling process. It's the wheel. So these appear to be in a strange order that is to be expected with this deck. Should traditionally be this way around, but some people really insist on having it this way because of the Roman numerals. It's all anyway, it's the Flemish pattern. It is what it is. The Death card. I really enjoyed this Death card. When I first saw it, the original deck, was like, gosh, it's such a beautiful card. Temperance. Another one of my favorite cards, the Devil. Very traditional medieval style looking devil. This is the Tower. Some of the decks had just trees or something like that to represent the tower. It's a very old deck. This is I think it's before the Marseille traditional styling came about. This is the star, which actually shows an astrologer. And back in those days, astrology was astronomy. It's scientific back then. The moon, the sun. Any guess where Pamela Coleman Smith got her inspiration from? Judgment. The world. Some of these cards have to be redrawn. For example, you can see the contrast here. These lines are too thin, these lines are too thick. So I have to redraw these cards. Of course, the Fool. Okay, let's move on to the Minor Arcana. This, by the way, is from my it's only a test print, so it's already coming off. It's just a draft print. Two of Wands, Two of Battens. These I have to redo, I think. Didn't come out quite as good as I expected. Still not bad. I find with the these very old decks, it's very hard to recreate the lines properly. It's more of a, sometimes more luck than skill. And then the Page. Knight. I kept the original paint, how it came out for the stenciling. I kept it the same to keep it as traditional as possible. King. Coming on to the swords, the Ace. Two. You can pause at any time, but some of these, most of these cards probably going to change anyway because I have to edit them, recolor them. Page of Swords. I really love these grumpy faces. The Knight. Queen. The King. And for the Cups, the Ace of Cups. Two of Cups. What I really want to do is fix them up and print them on some proper cardstock with proper printer settings. This cardstock, the toner comes off a lot. Okay. Valet. This guy looks incredibly like Beethoven. The Queen. The King of Cups. Looks quite mischievous. And lastly, the coins. You can see that some of the characters are actually mirrored. A lot of this deck is kind of mirrored. Two. I tried to recreate the dirtiness of it here. page. Knight. And this poor king. Looks like he's had a hard life. Anyway, so that's it. That's the deck so far. And still have a lot of work to do. Still have a lot of corrections to do. But overall, for the very first test print, the very first one, I think it came out okay. But overall, I really love this deck. The Jacques Vieville deck is it's quite a unique deck. I think the creator was quite an outlier. Certainly had a different approach to doing things. And yeah, very interesting deck. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. And if you have any comments or suggestions, make the lines thinner or thicker, just let me know in the comments. But I think I'm going to try to go for the thinner lines this time. Anyway, thank you very much for watching and hope you have a great day.